This channel supports the use of ad block.
On October 12, 2020, I sat down to write this, a 21-page article that nobody read, detailing my entire gaming history as far as I can remember. My name is KJ, I come from the land of nobody knows where, Malaysia, and this is my video game history.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of My Gaming History. Look, I know there hasn't been a video in ages, but hey, life happens. Anyway, I have been so super excited to finally play these games from my history. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this one for so freaking long to finally have the time to do it, and finally I have the time. I know there's an opening playing, I know there's an intro playing, but you can watch it when you play it yourselves. Anyway, these games came out at a time when CDs were pretty much like this new medium, moving away from floppy disk and stuff like that, and there was also a bunch of like really high quality sound cards that were coming into the market, Sound Blaster and stuff like that. So obviously the thing to do was to include a whole bunch of high quality audio and voice recordings onto these discs, and these games were the result. So a lot of games from this era were doing exactly the same thing. They weren't necessarily developing way higher graphics fidelity, which is something that was going to come later, but they were taking advantage of the larger disk space and also the sound cards to put voice acting into games. You can play these games right now on browsers because the actual game files are quite small, but you are going to be doing yourself a disservice if you do that. You're going to miss out on the whole point of these games, which was the audio and the voices. So, I've included detailed instructions in the description on how to get these working with full audio and links to download the full ISO files so you can play this game in all its majesty. When I was researching this game, I wanted to find out who actually voiced all the characters in the games. Because basically, voice acting in games didn't exist yet. This is voice acting in the games that, before voice acting in games was even an industry. So I actually emailed one of the lead devs at Stormfront Studios, Don Daglow, and holy shit, he responded. I freaking love devs who take the time to reply fans and emails from nobodies like me, and man, I really appreciate it. Don Daglow, you are my hero. Anyway, you can see in the picture here his reply. He mentioned that the leads won their parts in auditions for the two major roles of Jake and Jen, but the rest of the cast was basically voiced by staff members at the studio. He even mentioned that he couldn't remember which character he voiced, and I just think that's neat. Anyway, voice credits for Jake and Jen are in the description as well because this was a phenomenally voiced games. And again, I cannot recommend these games more. Especially if you want something fun and educational to play with your kids. These are fantastic games for kids. They're educational, they're fun, they're beautiful, and they're just, they're so engaging, and I just love playing them now even. So get a copy of them, get Dosbox, and play these games. They're really fun. And I'm gonna play them now. Anyway, here we go. Let's do this. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to my gaming history, and I've been so freaking excited to play this. I haven't played this in so long, but I have just the absolute fondest memories of this game. And you can hear the full music. By the way, just to repeat myself again, if you want to know how to run this with absolutely full audio, because you can play these games on the web now in like Dosbox and stuff like that, but you can actually play this with full audio. The instructions are going to be in the description, so follow along and you can actually play this with full audio. Every single line in this game is voiced. It's so amazing. So yeah, let's jump in. Here we go. Okay, so I've done a little bit of a test already. As you can see, I've got a shit face here. But I'm gonna start a new character. Pig McGee. Okay, that's gonna be our name. We're gonna either work with Jennifer or Jake. You can actually switch in between the partners in the game. So we're gonna start with Jennifer first.
Cool.
And we're gonna go in. You can play a practice mystery, or you can just jump in with a mystery. I may end up just playing this entire game just because I just enjoy it that much. But I'm just gonna go with one random one. So let's go with, I saw one, oh, the Vanishing Violin. That sounds like fun. Here we go.
Eagle Eyes, Jennifer here.
You can click to skip the audio, but I'm not going to skip the audio because I think these voice actors deserve their due.
Jennifer, listen. Richview needs your help. A crime's been committed that we can't solve, but maybe you can.
We'll sure try, Chief Barnes. What happened?
Last night someone broke into Brass Monkey Antiques and stole an antique violin, but nothing else. They didn't even take the money in the cash register.
These are like legit actual crimes, and they're calling two kids to solve them. It's so funny.
They left no clues. I was wondering if you could quietly check out all the violin players in Richview. Maybe you can discover some clues that we've missed.
Wow, an official detective assignment from Chief Barnes. Let's go.
And here we go. So you get the little screen view here of all the important places that you can visit in town. This is the one with the orange one is the one that you've got the most important thing that you can do. And you can go into the setup here, and like I said, you can actually change who you're going to be working with while you're playing. So you don't have to be committed to a particular character. Anyway, let's click on this. And that's going to give you like the locations, and you can actually scroll through the map. Like you don't have to do it from the big map view, but we'll go to Kennedy School. Oh, I'm so nostalgic for this music, man. There's so many audio cues in this game. This is amazing.
People playing the violin in here. It's Cheryl Hain and the Kennedy School music teacher, Ms. Scherzo.
Miss Scherzo. Right, and then they'll highlight things that you can like interact with, or if there are clues that you can pick up. So let's have a conversation. Let's talk to Miss Scherzo.
Hello, Ms. Scherzo. I want to ask my parents for permission to learn to play the violin. Do you have room for more students?
Perhaps. You'll have to sign up for classes next semester. Have you already got a violin?
I think my mother has an old one at home.
Be sure to have her take care of it. Many old violins are quite beautiful. Valuable, too. Some old handcrafted violins are worth thousands of dollars.
That's really interesting. Could we look at your violin?
We're already suspecting people.
Maybe some other time. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must help Cheryl with her practice.
Oh, she's shady, isn't she?
Hi, Cheryl. Sounds like you're practicing hard.
It's like, don't disturb me.
Yes, maybe too hard. Although Miss Scherzo says that's not possible. I wish I had large hands like hers. It would make the violin a lot easier to play.
I don't think that's true, is it?
You have a nice violin. Have you had it for a while?
No, I just got it 2 months ago for the recital coming up. I'm still getting used to it.
Ooh, mine looks new. There are no carved decorations anywhere on the wood. So those are our clues, all right? Then you can click her feet to kind of get out of the scene. So then, yeah, you can pick up any of the other spots. So new places will open up. Sometimes you've got to do some backtracking and stuff like that. But essentially, the entire game is just conversations, right? You listen to every single conversation everybody has to give you, and then you solve the case. That's basically the game. But it's a lot of fun. Trust me, this is a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to go to the public library next. We're going to learn some basic information about some violins, I suppose.
Who was the first person to play a violin, I wonder? Was the...
Oh, I said I wasn't going to skip any audio. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to give everybody's audio their due.
Well, hello, you two. Jennifer, that book on castles you requested came in. Would you like to check it out?
I requested a book on
Thanks,
castles?
Mrs. Garcia. Maybe later. We're kind of busy right now.
I see. Well, it will be here waiting for you when you solve whatever it is you're working on. Just remember, I can only hold it for 1 week.
Hi, Troy. We were wondering what you were listening to.
What? What? Wait, Let me take these headphones off.
So some of the conversations are not even relevant to the case, right? So it may not be necessary for you to listen to everything. If you kind of pick locations and you hear stuff that is relevant to the case and you think you can already solve it, you can. You don't really have to do everything.
Thanks. I said we were wondering what you were listening to.
Classical music. It's a Beethoven piece. I have a recital coming up next week. That's a concert given by music students. I really want to do well, so I listen to the same music I'll be playing, and I picture myself playing it.
That doesn't actually replace practice, Troy.
What instrument do you play?
The violin.
Neat. I think violins are beautiful. I'd like to see you play sometime.
Then come to the recital. I can't play anything for you now because my violin is in the Richview music shop at the mall. What bad luck! The chin rest on my violin came loose while I was practicing, the week before my recital. That's why I'm listening to these recordings. It's the next best thing to practice.
No, it isn't, Troy. I'm a musician. You're lying to yourself.
Let's use the index to find recent articles containing the word violin.
Okay. A recent story mentions that 3 advanced music students will play the violin at their upcoming recital at Kennedy School. Kathy Bragg, Cheryl Hinn, and Troy Wen. Is that normally how you pronounce that? Never mind. Eric Vicker. Ooh, will play the piano. Okay, I guess that's it from the library. That might have been quite important information. Anyway, so we head to the next spot. So this is Taylor Park. Every scene has like transition music. It's so good. I love it so much.
I think I hear some violin music here in the park. Let's investigate.
Who's playing the violin?
Oh, hi, Jennifer. What are you guys up to today?
Oh, this is the other girl that's doing the recital. Okay.
Oh, not much. We heard some nice violin music. Was that you playing?
No, yes. A while ago it was me. I was practicing on my violin, but now I have to go study. I'm pretty busy these days.
Your violin sounded different than some of the ones I've heard, kind of like it was being played on a super good stereo. Is it an old violin? Can we see it?
Ooh.
My mom got me a brand new violin when I started playing about 4 years ago. It's the only one I own. It's nothing special to look at. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go.
She's shady too, isn't she?
Hi guys.
Like, I want to get out of here.
Hang out in the park today?
Actually, we've been thinking about taking violin lessons. We heard the violin music, so we wandered over.
That's so? Well, Kathy Bragg is here with her violin. Maybe you can get her to give you lessons after the big recital next week. Speaking of which, I have to go practice the piano myself. We're all under a lot of pressure to play well at the recital. Did you know the recruiter from Juilliard will be in the audience? That's the most famous music school in the United States. Playing at this recital is like having a scout from the major leagues watch you play baseball.
Ho ho ho! Juilliard is gonna be there. In whatever this town is. I forgot the name. Brass Monkey Antiques! Here we go! Woohoo! This is where the thing was stolen from, right? Yeah, I believe.
We won't tell Miss Polari that we know the violin was stolen. Let's see what she has to tell us.
Oh, Jennifer, suspects, you guys are fraudulent. Let me see if I can find the truth.
Hello, kids.
Insurance
Perhaps
scam.
you young sleuths can help me. Somebody stole a violin from the shop last night. The violin and bow were hanging up here, in open sight. I've had them for quite some time now. The bridge, the bit of wood that holds the strings above the body, was carved to look like a snake. Last night someone broke the window over there, unlatched the lock, then crawled in and took an antique violin and bow.
Wow.
Nothing else was missing, and the police couldn't find any clues. Please, take a look around if you think you can help.
Man, the police in this game are so incompetent. It's hilarious. It's like 2 kids do the job of the police in this entire town. Also, like I said, these are legit crimes. This is not kids' crimes. This is a legitimate crime. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this thing. The window in the back room is broken. A rock and broken glass have been swept into a corner, so they cleaned up before they left.
Look! My hand barely fits through the hole they made in the window. Whoever reached through to unlock the window has to be my size or smaller.
Okay, so we gotta find someone who's smaller than us, I suppose. Alright, last place to check out. Let's go take a look. Richview Mall. Oh man, this audio, man. It's so nostalgic. It's so
Listen,
great.
there's a man playing the violin for the shoppers in the mall.
Oh, hello, new person. Let's take a look at this violin. Ben Plunkett, borrowed from Miss Scherzo, seems old and well used. At the end, the tuning of the wood is carved in the shape of a dragon's head. The bridge is not carved. So the violin lady said the bridge was a snake, right? Let's talk to her.
Excuse me, sir. That seems to be a very fine violin. Have you played it very long?
This old fiddle? Actually, I borrowed it from my friend, Miss Scherzo. Youngsters interested in learning to play the fiddle?
Maybe. You sure make it seem fun. What's your name?
Ben Plunkett, at your service. I guess I ought to tell you a fiddle and a violin are two names for the same thing.
Are they really?
You just call it different things when you play different kinds of music. Feel free to look at my fiddle if you want.
I was under the impression that a fiddle had a different shaped bridge, which allowed you to play like the multiple strings at the same time easier than a violin. I could be absolutely wrong, and I'm not gonna look it up on Wikipedia. Okay, let's go to the shop. Richview Music Shop is closed. A sign says the owner is sick. The workshop is visible through the window. Violins are hanging on the wall waiting for repairs.
I can read the tags on some of those violins. The one on the right belongs to Troy Nguyen, and the violin on the left
it's
belongs
pronounced
to Kathy
Nguyen.
Bragg. But neither violin has any unusual carving on it.
Wait, so Troy and Kathy have violins in the shop. Aha! So we've already found the guilty. Kathy's violin's in here, so she shouldn't have that one, right? So now we just go back out, and if you take a look, there's nothing like happening here anymore. So you can solve the case, right? So you can, but to solve the case, you actually have to go to a location first. So I can go back to Kennedy School. And then you've got to click on the thing, which is called the Travis, if I'm not mistaken. It's the, I can't remember what the Travis stands for. It stands for something. I sort of remember they said it in the intro, but they didn't. Okay. But anyway, it's called the Travis or something like that, right? Anyway, so you've got all the clues here, and you can highlight the clues accordingly, and then you can look at all your suspects. And then depending on which clue you want to highlight, you can click solve, and then you can kind of find out who is the guilty one. So we know Kathy's the big deal, right? So you need...
We haven't found the vanishing violin, but I think we've figured out who may have taken it. Which 5 clues do you think best prove our case?
So you can click 5 clues, but you don't have to click 5 clues. Like if you think less clues will solve the case, you can do that. All right. So for example, you can click on this, and then that will highlight. So this is the thing, and then these are blah 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 blah. All right. A lot of the clues exonerate the other guy. So Miss Scherzo, she doesn't have a violin because she borrowed it to her. She lent it to a friend. Troy doesn't have his violin because it's in the shop, and he says that, so he's practicing without it. Kathy is the only sketchy one. Cheryl's practicing with her violin, and there's no carved decorations anywhere, right? So we look for Kathy's violin. So this one here, right? We can click on that. And then if we look at Kathy, this one here, okay. And then if we look at, there we go. So I clicked these clues. If these are enough, the correct clues that it needs to solve, when you click solve, it will solve. But I also want to show you what happens if you click stuff that doesn't.
I'm sure we know who's responsible for the vanished violin, but we need to choose the best clues to point out our suspect.
There we go, right? So if you don't solve the case, then Jennifer will say that. So you can undo that, and then you can restart again. And then, so we can click that. I don't think we need that many clues, right? The important one is this one, and also this one, and then the one in the shop, right? So if you click solve now,
Great.
boom,
Now,
there
who
you
do
go.
Suspect of taking the violin.
And then it asks you to pick a suspect, so you can choose whoever you want. And again, if you click wrong, you can redo it again. But Kathy took the violin. You bloody criminal!
Yes, Kathy Bragg took the violin from Brass Monkey Antiques, and you can prove it.
And then they actually, at the end, they do a little bit of a wrap-up and explain how you got there. So even if, like, you as the player didn't know, and you just randomly clicked shit until it's solved, they tell you why you can get to this conclusion. That's the thing I like a lot about this game.
Let's check the evidence. The thief took nothing but the violin, not even money. That told us the thief wanted the violin for its wonderful sound, not its value in cash.
Yeah, okay.
We noticed something Chief Barnes had overlooked. Ms. Scherzo's hand could never have reached through the small hole in the broken window at Brass Monkey Antiques.
Yeah, like I said, most of the clues
examining her violin,
were...
that cleared Ms. Scherzo.
Most of the clues were exonerating the other guys. So the only clue that pointed to Kathy was the one where her violin's in the shop right now. Like, why would you do that? That's such a dumb criminal.
We learned that several music students were practicing hard for a recital that will take place next week. A recruiter from the most famous music school in the country is going to be in the audience. That's a lot of pressure.
This wrap-up is great. It's really educational, and for kids who are playing this game, like, I cannot tell, I need to repeat this so many times. You should let your kids play this game. Seriously, it's so good, it's so fun, it's so educational, it's fantastic, it's so well acted. You want to learn English or whatever, like, play this game. It's great, it's fantastic, I freaking love this game.
At the mall, we saw 2 broken violins at the Richview Music Shop. Both belonged to music students who were going to play in the recital. This meant they wouldn't be able to practice. Troy Nguyen was doing the next best thing, listening to music at the library.
But when we went to Taylor Park, we heard Kathy Bragg practicing.
You can hear the audio change quality?
She said it was hers, but she wouldn't let us see it. She didn't know we'd discovered that her violin was broken and hanging in the Richview Music Shop.
Probably like a recording was done at a separate time. And there we go. And that's the final wrap up. And then they give you this like little press release, like it went in the papers and stuff like that, and you can read that. And yeah, that's it. And that's the case. So then if you go into your scrapbook, you can basically see the press releases that were done for that case. And that's the game. That's the entire game. The game is just this. You're solving crimes. And it's so good. It's so much fun. It's genuinely a lot of fun. It's in fact so much fun that I'm going to make an unlisted video that plays through, well, maybe not unlisted. I'm going to upload a separate video that plays through this game in its entirety, because I've been wanting to replay this for the longest time, and I've been wanting to play the version with the full audio, because I remember very clearly that every single voice line was voice acted. And so the fact that I finally get to do that again is fantastic. Again, instructions are in the description. Not everybody knows how to figure this out, but you can download the ISOs from the Internet Archive. You can get a copy of Dosbox, and you can essentially play this game with full audio. Just follow the steps in the description, and you will be able to install this and run it with the full audio. So you get the full experience of playing this game. Anyway, I'm going to come right back after this, and I'm going to play... They made a sequel to this game, so we're going to play that one next. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and this trip down nostalgia lane, this is fantastic. I'll see you guys next time for another episode of my gaming history. See ya.